As you can see on the left side of the screen, we're once again gonna go through Fooled by Randomness by Nassim Nicholas Taleb or however. It is actually the second time that I'm going through a full summary, a full one. It's not like part this, part that. It is a full one, a full summary of Fooled by Randomness. Why I'm doing this? Because I think it is a great book, and I think that there might be some things in this summary that have not been in the other summary that I've already went through. And, which makes it just worth it going through it as well. Quite, and this is actually it. And I just noticed that there is a lot of echo today. Since I've actually tidied up my room, I clearly noticed that, that there is a little bit more echo, but I hope that's fine. But yeah, anyway. So this time, this summary is from the jamesclear.com site. There is not a ton of summaries, but they are, I think, pretty great. They're not that long. No, you motherfucker. Anyway, they're not that long, but still, there's some length to it, and I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna take me at least this whole episode, I think, to go through it. So, the book in 3 sentences. Randomness, chance, and luck influence our lives and work more than we realize. Because of hindsight bias and survivorship bias, in particular, I'm sorry, just been eating some nuts once again. In particular, we tend to forget that many who fail remember the few who succeed and then create reasons and patterns for their success, even though it was largely random. Mild success can be explainable by skills and hard work, but wild success is usually attributable to variance and luck, which is something that's really interesting. And, one of the main reasons why I like his work so much, Taleb's work, is that he's talking about things I would never ever think of. It's just amazing. Fooled by Randomness summary. This is my summary of Fooled by Randomness by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. My notes are informal and often contain quotes from the book, as well as my own thoughts. This summary also includes key lessons and important passages from the book. And actually, do I have some water left? No, not really. Anyway. According to Taleb, the book's most popular chapter was chapter 11, the one in which he compressed all the literature on the topic of miscalculating probability. Important point, it is more random than we think, not it is all random. It is more random than we think, not it is all random. Okay, chance favors preparedness, but it is not caused by preparedness, some for hard work, skills, etc. Same for hard work, skills, etc. This business of journalism is about entertainment, particularly when it comes to radio and television. Yes, it indeed is the case. As much as we want to keep it simple, stupid, it is precisely the simplification of issues that are actually very complex, which can be dangerous. Yes, indeed, and I do have to say, simplifying a very... I'm having so many things in between my teeth, it is just not normal anymore. Being able to simplify something to a point where it is understandable by nearly everyone is insanely difficult. But also, indeed, as they also point out, pretty dangerous because, at least at my point of view, if you're simplifying something to a really high degree, then chances are very, 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 very high that that it's not going to be the same thing as the original point or the original sentence or the original whatever it was, which can lead to miscommunicating something or communicating something different, which is not good. Things that happen with little help from luck are more resistant to randomness. Indeed, mild success can be explained by skills and labor, wild success is attributable to variance. One common theory for why people pursue leadership is because of social emotions, which cause others to be influenced by a person due to small, almost imperceptible physical signals like charisma, gestures, and gait. I do have to say that charisma is a really, really great thing in terms of, I think it can really get you pretty far, so to speak. This has also been shown via evolutionary psychology. When you perform well in life, you'll get all puffed up in the way you carry yourself, the bounce in your step, etc. From an evolution standpoint, this is great because it becomes easier to spot the most successful and desirable mates. I'm not sure about this, but we can emulate that, which is the good thing. If we know about it, we can emulate that, which means that, we're just gonna go around and walk around very puffed, very springy in our feet, even though we're just, not that successful maybe. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if this is the case. It is something that's particularly interesting to me. The whole thought of maybe I should close something down because it's a little bit too loud. Please go away. Please go away. Please go away. Thank you. There's actually a lot of echo. Maybe I should use this blanket as well. It's actually so echoey that it is even bothering me, which is not good. Sorry for not being able to see me and stuff. But now it is actually better, as far as I can tell. At least a little tiny bit. At least a little tiny bit. Because it is for sure, to really be honest, it is, ow. It can be quite distracting when there is such a lot of echo. Let's do it like, come closer to me, thank you. So I think it is a little tiny bit better, at least a little tiny bit better. Yeah, anyway, let's move on. This has also been shown via evolutionary psychology, and I've already went through that. The concept of alternative histories is particularly interesting. If you were to relive a set of events 1,000 times, what would the range of outcomes be? If there is very little variance in your alternative histories, i.e. you chose to become a dentist and you will probably make more or less the same amount of money and live a similar lifestyle all 1,000 times, then you are in a relatively non-random situation. Meanwhile, if there is a very wide range of normal results when considering 1,000 variations, entrepreneurs, traders, etc., then it is a very random situation, which just makes sense. It really does. The more outcomes there are, the more random it is. If you also think about it as a curve, as a just bell curve, then why it is so dusty? Then what did I want to say? I don't know. Well, think about a bell curve. Just think about a bell curve. That's it. The quality of choice cannot be judged just by the result. I first learned this in baseball. Just because a pitch you call or play you call... What? A pitch you call or play you call doesn't work out, doesn't make it a poor choice. It could have been the right call, but bad luck or vice versa. Yes, indeed. It is way too easy to just be like, well, it's just the results that matter. It's just entirely not about the process. This doesn't really matter. If you're miserable all life long for just a really quote unquote cool end in the end of your life, that's fine. It's super fine. No, it's fucking not. Why? For me at least, and this is a little bit of a different point, yes. For me, it doesn't make any fucking sense to do something the whole day long that you don't like for getting something in return. Eventually, maybe you assume that it is the case when you're just fucking old. Of course, if you're able to retire with 70 years old, then you're still having 30 years left, which is quite some time, don't get me wrong. But the thing is, no, just don't be so miserable and just do something that you absolutely hate every single fucking day for 8 hours or more. This is my opinion. Certainty is something that is likely to take place across the highest number of different alternative histories. Uncertainty concerns events that should take place in the lowest number of them. Indeed. You should think carefully about getting more insurance, shielding yourself from events that, although unlikely, could be catastrophic. You essentially want to insult yourself from terrible random accidents. Insulate. Not insult, but insulate. We have a tendency to see risks against specific things as more likely than general risks. Dying in a terrorist attack while traveling versus dying on your next trip, even though the second includes the first. We seem to overvalue the things that trigger an emotional response and undervalue the things that aren't as emotional. And I think if you think about the chances, then flying or traveling by plane is less dangerous than just driving your car every single fucking day, as far as I remember. Of course, there is... if the plane crashes, you're probably gonna die. If you're having just an accident with your car, then you're not gonna die. Probably. So there's a different layer to this. Of course, it doesn't also have to be the case that if you crash with the plane that you're also gonna die. Chances are very high, but it's just, not 100%. We are so mentally wired to overvalue the sensational stories that you can, quote-unquote, realize informational gains by dispensing with the news. Fascinating, famous Swiss study of the amnesia patient who couldn't remember doctor's name, but did remember him pricking her hand with a pin. That's interesting. Maybe it's just because we don't want to remember certain things. Every man believes that he is quite different. It is better to value old, distilled thoughts than new thinking, because for an idea to last so long, it must be good. That is so. That is, old ideas have had to stand the test of time. New ideas have not. Some new ideas will end up lasting, but most will not. So the point there a little bit is, and it is something that we've already been talking about in the other summary as well, is that older ideas seem to be better, or older things seem to be better. For example, books. Books have been around for just quite some time. So it is more likely, which is the Lindy effect, it is more likely that they are going to be around in the next time as well. Whereas something that is quite new at this point in time, which has not been on this earth, on this planet for quite some time, this is not very, very likely to just also be in the future as well, or be present in the future as well, which I think just really makes sense. If something has been a part of life for quite some time, then it is just more likely that it is also going to be a part of our life in the future as well. The ratio of undistilled information to distilled is rising. Let's call information that has never had to prove its truth more than once or twice undistilled. And information that has been filtered through many years, countered arguments and situations is distilled. You want more distilled information, concepts that stand the test of time and rigorous analysis, and less undistilled information, the news, reactionary opinions, and cutting-edge research. I can understand the whole concept. I still believe I still think cutting-edge research can still be important. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with losing. The problem is losing more than you plan to lose. You need clear rules that limit your downsides. If any investment loses $1 million, then our firm sells immediately. Yeah, you can always just structure some boundaries into your plans and just, make it smart. And it is bad advice. It really is bad advice. Just be smart. It is the worst advice you can give somebody. But the thing is, it often just makes sense. It often is quite not really applicable, but it makes sense because there's so many different things that are just based on logical thinking and based on, okay, I'm not gonna fuck myself. But it's still really bad advice. Maybe it's just about the phrasing, maybe it's just about saying it in that way. But yeah. Much of what is randomness is timing. The best strategy for a given time period is often not the best strategy overall. In any given cycle, certain places will be dangerous, certain trading strategies will be fruitful, etc. And it is definitely the case. I don't know, when it is raining and you're outside and you're having a fucking umbrella, then I don't know, your full metal shoes might not be the best thing, or your full metal hat might not be the best thing. Quite. So it really depends on the situation, on the context, and on timing, as he's saying as well. And I've forgotten to just fucking underline things. So I'm gonna do it right now. I'm such a fucker. Yesterday I thought, okay, I have to underline more. Because it makes sense, because it is a good thing. But yeah, what am I doing? Nothing. If you find yourself doing something extraordinarily well in a random situation, then keep doing what is working, but limit your downside. There is nothing wrong with benefiting from randomness, so long as you protect yourself from negative random events. Randomness means there are some strategies that work well for any given cycle. An extreme fat diet. But these cycles are often short to medium-term success. More importantly, the strategies that work for a given cycle in the short term may not be the best for long-term or long run. There are suboptimal strategies winning over a randomly beneficial short-term cycle. The same can be said for setting huge goals following a fat diet, chasing an extreme training protocol, and so on. Unsustainable and suboptimal for the long term. In this way, evolutionary traits that are undesirable can survive for a period of time in any given population. That is, suboptimal strategies and traits can seem desirable in the short run, even though they will be resoundingly defeated in the long run. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Very well said. And it is definitely going to be also highlighted because I think it's well, it's well written. Important point. You can never affirm a statement merely confirms its rejection. There is a big difference between this has never happened and this will ever happen. You can say the first, but never truly confirm the second. It just takes one counterexample to prove all previous observations wrong. We never know things for sure, only with varying degrees of certainty. Yes, we can be just to 99.9% sure that, human beings consist of quite some water. You know what I mean? But I think it is very important. So I'm gonna just pick a little bit of it. There are only two types of ideas, those that have been proven wrong and those which have yet to be proved wrong. Feynman said something similar. Strive to become a man of leisure who can afford to sit with ideas, think properly about them, and gradually provide something of value. Science is speculation. This is important to remember. Scientists are simply creating well-formed and well-educated conjectures about the world, but they are still conjectures that can be proved incorrect by random event. By one random event. So no matter, which is actually something that's really interesting, no matter how long something has been on this planet, if some random event occurs, which is kind of completely destroying this argument or completely destroying this thought, this formula as well, then it's gone. It has no meaning whatsoever. Like, of course, meaning in the sense of, okay, maybe we can work from that point off or on, just to another formula. But yeah, it's very interesting. It is a difficult standard to demand that you can actually implement ideas and not merely share them. There have been many brilliant philosophers and scientists who have had great ideas they didn't personally use. But is an idea really that great if you can stick to it? Obviously, everyone has different skills and circumstances, so maybe someone can use your idea even if you can't, but generally speaking, I think you should be able to live out the ideas you share. I think it would at least kind of make sense to some degree, but yeah. Pascal, the optimal strategy for humans is to believe in the existence of God. For if God exists, then the believer will be rewarded. If God does not exist, the believer will have nothing to lose. My first thought, yes, but what if you believe in the wrong God, quote unquote, wrong God? Should you play a numbers game and believe in the God most people believe in? Or can we safely assume that of the infinite number of possible gods humans could have designed, it is unlikely that any of those we worship are actually the God? So just believe that a higher power exists. Though call here. Tath. Is it Tath? I think it's Tath call here. It really is. But it is an interesting concept, and I think Pascal isn't that wrong, to be honest. There's not a lot of things to lose, but there is something to believe in, and there is something to also look forward to, and there is something for your mind that is doing you good. Of course, you can't, I think, make yourself believe in God from just today in an hour or something. It's probably not going to work, but you can believe in something else, I believe. Social treadmill effect. You get rich, move to a better neighborhood, surround yourself with more successful people, and feel poor again. Well, and then you have to do something else. Have to have another business, have to have another car, have to have just another Gucci bag, whatever it might be. We feel poor and lonely and everything. Remember that nobody accepts randomness in his or her his own success, only his failure. And this is completely the truth. And it is amazingly sad. Skewness and expectations. You can't just look at the odds of something happening, but also the payoff you receive if it works, and the cost of it failing. A bet on something very unlikely can be smart if the payoff is large and you have rules to limit the many small losses that are likely. Of course, if you're betting with someone about $1 million, and if you lose, then nothing is happening. But if you win, you get $1 million, then it is a great thing. Of course, you should take it. But if you're just losing, then, just $2 million, which you're not having, so you're going to be $2 million in debt, and the possibility that you lose is 70%, not even 50-50, but even 70%, then you should probably not do that. It's very risky, very, very risky. Minor stalemates in life can often be solved by choosing randomly. In many cases, it doesn't really matter so long as you choose something and move forward. Which is actually a very great statement for people that, that are overthinking a lot of things. We follow rules not because they are the best option, but because they make things fast and easy. Humans are inherently flawed. The cognitive biases that we have are simply a result of how our brains work. Sometimes these biases help us rather than hurt us, but they are always a result of how we are built. That makes them particularly difficult to avoid. It's not that much to go, so I'm able to actually go through it. We seem to focus too much on local changes and not global ones. That is, we care too much about the latest change rather than the overall trend. Wealth does not make people happy, but positive increases in wealth may. This is very well said. This is very well said because it is definitely the case. I mean, if you're making money, it's going to make you happy. If you're losing money, it's probably not going to make you happy. But whether you're wealthy or not is gonna not really do anything about your happiness, I guess. I don't know. But definitely, I mean, if you're just making money, I think you're gonna be happy. We do not think but use heuristics to make decisions. Emotions are lubricants of reason. We actually need to feel things to make decisions. Emotions give us energy, and they are actually critical to life in a day-to-day world. In other words, the goal here is to not become a robot who can analyze everything with perfect logic. Which I think is interesting, but I don't really get why. Even if you know about randomness and cognitive biases, you're still just as likely to fall victim to them. Yes, indeed. How to overcome the biases? We need tricks. We're just animals and we need to restructure our environments to control our emotions in a smart way. Most of us know pretty much how we should behave. It is the execution that is the problem and not the absence of knowledge. I try to remind my group each week that we are all idiots and know nothing, but we have the good fortune of knowing it. Do not blame others for your failures, even if they are at fault. Yes, because it's not going to make anything better. The only aspect of your life that fortune does not have control over is your behavior. Repetitiveness is key for determining if you're seeing skill or randomness at play. Can't repeat it, not skillful. We favor the visible, the embedded, the personal, the narrated, and the tangible. We scorn the abstract, everything good, aesthetic, ethics, and wrong, fooled by randomness. With us seems to flow from it. And this is actually it with the summary, but big point, big and also important point for me, reading suggestions. This is a list of authors, books, and concepts mentioned in Fooled by Randomness, which might be useful for future reading. Montaigne's Writing and Critical Approach to Introspective Thought. Robert Schiller's 1991 paper on the probability and information, first mathematical proof of the low value of information. Gary Stick's Science Writing. The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins. Karl Popper's work. Read about the Jacobian Dilemma, Mean Genes book, Randomness by Deborah Bennett, and C.P. Cavey's Poetry. Cavey's, or something. I don't know. But this is actually going to be it with this one. So I'm actually also going to put this one here in my little summary. And I'm also going to go up where I haven't done anything, and I'm going to just pick something randomly because it is better to just have something in there than nothing without actually knowing what it is, because it might help anyway. And I'm going to pick those two. So because I don't want to have everything, but I also don't want to have nothing. So I think it is just actually better to just randomly choose something. But yeah, with that being said, I wish you the best. No, it's the wrong one. I'm sorry. I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person, and being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty cool thing. And yeah, with that being said, 3 other questions that I'm having for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most as well? Which can show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty cool thing. Another question that I'm having for you is, which is a very, very interesting one and a very important one as well. Can you certainly do and say something? Of course, you can create something, build something, make something, but especially say that is going to change somebody's life today. Maybe in 10 years, but today is a very good day, I feel. So yeah, I'm going to see you the next time. Ask yourself these questions and bye-bye. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, to really be honest here. I just really appreciate that.